let's talk. Because I know what you're thinking. The title right now seems absurd. How I accidentally became the biggest chess streamer of all time. Me! How is that possible? Sounds fake, doesn't it? It's not. For a brief moment, I had more viewers than any chess streamer ever has. Any individual chess streamer. Sure, chess.com's website had me beat. But as far as individuals, a human goes, I'm literally at the top. This is anyone who's streamed chess in the past year. And this has been the biggest year for chess, as you guys know. And you don't see XQC. You don't see Hikaru. There's one man all the way up, Ludwig, who had the most viewers by far than any other individual chess streamer at peak. This all started a few weeks ago when Hikaru, who you probably all know by now, who's blown up on Twitch, has 20K average viewers, announced the Chess Pog Champs tournament. It was meant to be a battle of streamers in chess, coached by top chess players, where the winning players would win a prize. And they announced it along with some names. I think XQC, Moist Critical, Hutch. And I'm watching on the sideline, just, you know, being a streamer with no invite. And, you know, I've lived a lot of my life on Twitch on the outside circle. I've never really collaborated with anyone that has any sort of views. Pretty much just one old man, and that's my life. That's been my life. But chess is something I like. I've streamed chess on this channel before. And so I thought, I'm going to go ahead and reach out to see if this is possible. And that's exactly what I did. I reached out to chess.com through email. Hey, hope this email finds you well. I saw the recent announcement for the Twitch chess tournament featuring many great streamers and was wondering if there are still openings. I have been playing chess on stream throughout my Twitch streaming career, featuring prominently during my 1v1 streams. I've attached relevant information as far as viewer count, follower count to hopefully show some credibility that I would be good for the event. Let me know if there are any openings. Thank you. And I attached a screenshot of my viewers, and let me say, it was a flex. I was trying to flex. I wanted in. I assume they probably got several emails. I felt like such a megalo. Everybody else just copped an invite. I had to send an email to some entity. I saw the email on their website. I was job hunting, and this is where the journey began. They said, "Hey man, thanks for reaching out. We already sent out all 16 invites, but those expire in a couple days and will likely get a rejection. So I'll put you at the top of the alternate list. It's just like soccer in high school, boys. I'm on the fucking bench. There's a chance. There's a chance we will see some field time." And so 2 days later, let me show you, because I do see chess.com in my chat saying they sent me an invite. But I'll leak. Ooh, I'll leak all day, baby. They said I was an alternate, and then 2 days later, May 28th, they hit me back, and they say this. Regarding the tournament, it looks like everyone is in for now. I got rejected. They literally megaloed me out the building. Even all the work I did, I wasn't in, and I was sad. Because look, I know I'm on the outside of Twitch's inner circle. I know I do my own thing. But this is the one time, the one game where I felt like I could be somebody. And it wasn't in the cards until a couple days later, where I get an email with the subject line, "You're in." We're in the event, Group D. And so I was in a group of 4. It was me. It was Box, Swiftor, who's brand new to the game, the noob, and Papalate, who will turn out to be just a better, more German Ludwig. I didn't know it was possible to be a more German Ludwig when my name's fucking Ludwig, but apparently it is. I had 3 matches. If I win 2, I will move on to the winner's bracket, which is my goal. And my first match is against no one else but Box. The clear favorite to make it out of my group. A clear favorite for top 4 in the whole tournament, even. I prepared for my match by training with Hikaru. If you guys don't know Hikaru, obviously big chess streamer, but also former #2 chess player in the world. I mean, he's a god at the game. And so with that preparation in mind, we started the game. We start with the Ponzi Ante opening, which is basically, if you don't know anything about chess, it's putting this pawn here so that you can eventually move this pawn and have it be more supported. It's a strong opening to control the center early. And I'm doing everything fucking right. Every move's going well. Everything's working. I might beat box. Until turn 6, where I actually fucked up and I did the wrong move. And so it didn't super work out. Because here's the problem. Let me explain to you the real problem. And if you don't know anything about chess, this should still make sense. I'm getting taught by the best there is. And he's teaching me dozens of different situations that can happen. And I'm supposed to remember this all the day before. There's variations where I'm supposed to bring this bishop out. There's variations where I'm supposed to bring this knight out. Variations where I'm supposed to bring this queen out even. And I can only remember so far. So once we got to move 5, I fuck up. But that's still fine. It's not like my move was that dumb. It wasn't a game ender. Honestly, everything was going fine. We were making moves up until we weren't. You see, this white bar means white is winning. I'm white. I'm Lud Skywalker. I made this account when I was 17. I thought it was cool. I still think it's cool. Black having more means black's winning. White automatically starts winning because white moves first. And so everything's fine. And then when I do this, I go from winning by 2 pawns, because every 1 point means 1 pawn, to winning by 0 pawns. But it's still fine. But then I do that. And this means a blunder, which is chess talk for holy shit, you are so fucking stupid. But the good thing is he makes blunders too. So, you know, it's not all bad until I make some more blunders. And he stops making blunders. And in only 14 turns, beats me in a game of chess. And it sucks to lose. But I was looking at it from a different angle. Because you guys know I like to do one thing in specific. Sometimes losing isn't a mistake for me. All right, new plan. I throw every single match I have. I get into the consolation shitters bracket. I beat the out of everyone there. It's a Pog Champ story the whole way through. That's an interesting plan. That's an interesting plan. Now, this was obviously just banter. That I was just bantering with my viewers. But it is true that if you win the loser's bracket, you get $4,000. If you win the championship bracket, you get $10,000. But if you get last place in the champion, you only get $1,500. And everyone in the championships bracket's really good. So somebody could do some calculations and decide to make some moves. Now, I believe in integrity. I'm a competitor, obviously one of the best Melee players of all time in my day, but I did bring this idea up on stream. And so then enter game 2 of my group bracket. And the match was against Papa Platt. And if you don't know, Papa Platt is a German streamer who literally has way more viewers than me, way more German than me, and does all the things I do. He plays Mario on stream. He does just chatting content. He plays chess for like double the amount of viewers. But I was a favorite to win. My rating at the time, about 1,000. His 700. The problem is I didn't get any coaching before the day of the tournament. I tried reaching out to Hikaru and he said he was busy. But he messaged me and he said, Ludwig, I have a brilliant idea. I think for this game, you're going to go for a sneaky opening he won't expect. Now, bear in mind, it's a best of 1, so I only get 1 chance at winning. So I take his advice, and I go for it. Starting out as black, the second to move, I go E5. This is normal, very classical. Then after he plays his knight, also very classical, I mix it up. With F5, you'll see this bar immediately shot down because it's not a great opening. It's a gambit. I'm literally giving up a pawn that no one can protect in hopes that it'll bring me a W throughout the entire game. We continue. He makes a blunder here. Black's all of a sudden winning. A little blunder there from me. He blunders back. Blunder from me. And then he makes a genius move. Puts me in check. I have to protect my king. Block with the pawn. Puts me in check again. I'm freaking out. So I block with my bishop. But I didn't realize in the bottom left corner of my screen was standing a rook worth 5 points with no one protecting him, and he takes him. And now I'm panicking. I moved my king. I don't know what to do. I didn't want it to take him my knight, so I thought I'd protect my knight. He moves this guy in. I'm freaking the fuck out. I move this guy. I don't know where I'm going. He moves there. I'm scared. I don't know. I can't take it. What do I do? I move my king. It's okay. Then he moves over here. What does that mean? I'm in check again. How do I block this? I move my king again. I'm in the fucking front of the board. I'm panicking. And so I decide, in this moment, down big, what's the one move I can make to come back? I'm black. He's white. There's one single move that can win me this game. And so I decide to move my bishop here. But what I didn't notice at the time was that apparently I could have just taken his queen. I missed it. I mean, it would have literally almost won me the game. But, I didn't see it at the time. I didn't see it. So that's not what happened. And instead, I continued to play on. And the game went on for a bit. But unfortunately, he was up so much material. He had so many more pieces than I did that he eventually found a checkmate. And I lost the game against Papa Plata, which meant two things. One, I'm a lot worse at chess than I thought I was. And two, I am now literally guaranteed to be in the consolation bracket. It turned out later that maybe Hikaru's advice that he gave me, I read incorrectly. He said he doesn't have time to teach me. He said, Ludwig, okay, teach Ludwig? Well, I could teach Ludwig. What's XQC up to? Apparently my viewer count too low.
Who gave him the Latvian Gambit advice?
So his one piece of advice
Hikaru, you look
was
so
the
shocked.
Latvian Gambit. But now what do I do? Now what the f am I supposed to do, Hikaru?
This is not what I told him to play at all.
You just said to do F5.
Yeah,
I have
that's why I'm
nothing
confused.
else.
Who told him this?
Sorry, I'm going to my Discord, so I'm
Right,
trying to look at what I wrote.
Luigi Classical.
Okay, let me look. Okay, am I really going to tell you guys? Okay.
So Hikaru goes on to leak in front of 50,000 people that I might have lied about the opening he told me. Apparently, he told me to do something completely different, and I just didn't listen. His exact DM after I asked him for help was, don't have time, in response to me asking for coaching. But here's my recommendation. Papa Plata is new to the game. He'll go E4, so I'd recommend something unorthodox to confuse him, like E4 and then D5. D5. I did F5. But the letters are so close, and he DM'd me and I'm not kidding, at 6:47 a.m. 6:47 a.m. Are you really going to say it's my fault that I read it incorrectly? I think it's his fault. He could have clarified more. 6:47? I'm a streamer. I've never gotten up before noon ever. What do you mean?
Right.
If that was the only disappointment that I gave Hikaru, it wouldn't be too bad, but this was his reaction.
Again, he's thinking for a long time. He's down to 4 minutes already. It's, like I said, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Okay, Ludwig.
Okay, let's see.
Come on, Ludwig. Put on your serious face. Put on your serious face and take the queen. Put on your serious face, man. Put it on.
So if I bring bishop to E6 and then he takes this and then I take this, then I can, yeah, I think bishop to E6 is fine. I didn't say it's great, but it's reasonable.
Oh my god.
It was reasonable.
Chad, I think we just lost.
I've never seen a man more disappointed in me ever. Mostly because my father died 15 years ago. Thanks, Hikaru, for giving me the feeling during Father's Day. I appreciate that. Also, Hikaru's in my chat right now. It called me a lazy bum. So we lose our second game, which means we are now 100% in the consolation bracket. This is when things changed. This is when I started to take things seriously. I was more proactive to find coaching. I went out and I bought chess books. I was playing off stream and on stream, ignoring viewer count, literally just trying to get better at the game. In our match, this one versus Swiftdoor is not for a bracket placement, but it's for seeding. But I don't care about the seeding. I don't care where I am. I just want to start winning. I haven't won a game yet. I want to know if I have the capability. At this point, it feels like when you're a kid and all the parents say you could be so good if you just applied yourself, but I never fucking did. Am I actually good? Or am I falling for the things my parents say? Is it all a lie? I don't know. So how about I actually fucking apply myself? Actually put my soul into this thing? Make myself vulnerable to real loss, real pain, and go for a real win. And it starts like all my games did. E4. I'm confident in this opening. And I'm just trying to play smart chess. Smart chess. That's what I'm thinking. Smart chess. Everything's looking good. This bar right now, not too crazy. I haven't made any big mistakes. Neither has he. Until right here. I blunder my bishop. You can see the bar plummet. Because this bishop right now is being attacked by the knight. And no one is protecting it. And he fucking missed it. He fucking missed it. He didn't see the move. In fact, he didn't see it for 2 turns straight. I got away with murder. And I take that and I use it. And I don't let it go to waste. I continue down with the underestimated, never seen on this planet triple stack. I bring out the in and out. 1, 2, 3 pieces all stacked attacking up here. And I have one thing in mind. Check fucking mate. He's used almost all of his time. I have 5 minutes left. I see it right here. Can you see where it is? I have a guaranteed mate. Find a check here. He can't take me because it's protected by the bishop. He moves the only place he can. And so the only move I have to do now is move my rook backwards. The bishop finds a discovered check. The king can't escape here or here because the rook's blocking it. And I find a checkmate in 26 moves. And I'm feeling good. It's my first win. And all of a sudden, I feel like maybe Hikaru's not all talk. Maybe I can be good at the game. Maybe I can find a way to win. And in my post-game interview, they talk about how I found the way to win. And to this day, I credit my win to one thing and one thing only. Let's watch.
Why'd you give your bishop for free, though? Come on, Ludwig. You had 500 gifted subs on the line. You cannot be living life with that kind of risk.
Alex. Here's a little thing that I'm going to pass on to you from one streamer to another. It's called throwing for content. You got to make it a little more exciting, all right? Throwing a hanging bishop. Have everybody in suspense for a moment. My endgame's phenomenal. Do you know why? I pick up Dvorsky's endgame book. Okay? Now, I can't read a word of this because it's all in chess notation. It makes no sense. But I own it, and this alone has been a 300-point up for me.
Have you been like sleeping next to it, trying to get some, osmosis
every
going
night,
on?
Every night. I no longer own a pillow. I just sleep on Dvorsky's book in 4th edition. The ownership of the book was enough to bring me through and secure a dub versus Swiftdoor. And now it was time for the consolation bracket. It feels weird to say, but I think the consolation bracket was a bigger deal than even the championship bracket because look at the names. The biggest names in the tournament were in this bracket. XQC is the one who started the chess craze. This was the bracket that he ended up in. This is the bracket that a lot of the viewers had their eyes on, even though it was remarkably worse chess. And so I enter my first match versus Chocobars in the consolation bracket. The prize up top is $4,000, but more importantly, it's the eyes of the viewers. Throughout all of this, my channel was blowing up. I was streaming with people I'd never streamed before. I've streamed with Hutch. I streamed with Moist Critical. The big prize wasn't the money. The people who follow you along the journey, that's worth more than 4K. So I wanted this dub. And I entered my match versus Chocobars by getting a coaching session. Now, you might be wondering, who was it from? Was it from Hikaru? Or perhaps Hans, who's another player who coached me a lot It's actually the person that was supposed to be my coach the whole tournament. And I haven't brought her up because she blew me off the whole fucking event. That's right. When I got the news on June 1st that I would be a part of this event, I was told two things. What pool I would be in, and two, that I would be having a coach. Because the idea was have shitty streamers get coached by great players so they can play better. And my coach was Alexandra Botez, a woman's FIDE master in chess, a phenomenal player who was meant to coach me. And so we emailed back and forth. We actually came up on a coaching day weeks before the Constellation Bracket started. But it was 6 p.m. on Saturday, and I had a coaching session with Hikaru at 5, but it ran a little late because I'm a little dumb. And so I still hit up Alexandra because our coaching session was supposed to be an hour, like 20 minutes after it happened. And I was like, you ready? And she was like, yeah, but how about you do some coaching with my friend instead? And I normally wouldn't care about this. Why am I even bringing this up? Who cares? I still got coaching from other people. She said she couldn't do it. She couldn't do it. Well, the next day, Hassan, another streamer, got a private one-on-one coaching session that was 3 hours long and really was mostly talking about the Argentinian government's exploitation of workers and furthered interest in socialism with a little bit of chess sprinkled in, while me, the assigned player to the coach, hasn't gotten a minute of coaching. I mean, the Bulls. And so I brought it up to her on stream that I hadn't got coaching, and she said she would coach me. And we did coaching, but apparently she was a little bitter because she started off the coaching session with this. So in this position on the chessboard, there is a way for white to checkmate in a single move. Right now, you can take the time to see what the move would be for white to find this checkmate. But that was my task for the coaching session. And she said while I was doing it, she would be looking up Chocobar's openings to help me. Elementary, checkmate in 1. Yeah, of course. Okay. Well, we have a knight here that can put him in check, and our queen's pinning pawn, so pawn can't take, and doesn't feel like she's doing a lot of work there, huh? Weird, right?
Chat, I know it's hard. That's the point. This is revenge for the rant. Last PogChamps. Ladies and gentlemen, he's not supposed to get it.
The truth comes out. Because I went on a rant in front of like 50K people about how she's a shitty coach, she tried to make me look a fool and waste time on a puzzle that is nearly impossible for someone around my level. Bringing people together. That's what life's about. End of the day, everything we do is to feel a little less lonely. Watching Hulu, Netflix, hanging out with friends. It's all about being a little less lonely. And today, I say fuck a mate in 1. I want to be a little less lonely. Mate in 2.
Ludwig, it's a chess position, not a life philosophy.
Okay, you heard all that?
About loneliness.
Okay.
You're just trying to get an accurate solution. You only have to find one move. Come on, Ludwig.
Okay, sorry. Okay, yeah, I'll go back. I'll go back.
Yeah,
that was
sounds
stupid.
good.
That was
Cool.
stupid. Okay.
Cool, yeah.
I was muted. So apparently it was possible to find the mate in 1. And I'll have you know, I did find it. Have you found it yet? Yeah. 20 minutes later. I see it. En passant. Yes! 7 to e5. That was so cheap of you to not show me the black moving to that square. Oh, I see it. En passant. Anyway, the rest of the coaching session was not nearly as much of a struggle. And we decided on an opening, and we actually practiced very specifically for Chocobar's opening. And then my game versus Chocobar's started. My game versus Chocobar's was, again, a best of 2. I go for the d4 opening, remembering what I learned during the coaching session. A pretty clean game all the way until move 17. We're in this position. Chocobar's makes a fatal error, moving her knight over to g4, unprotected by any single piece, but under threat by my knight. I capitalize immediately. One entire piece down is too much for Chocobar's to bear. I continue my war path, trading down, because it's always okay to trade when you're up in pieces, boys. That's the fucking secret. It doesn't even matter if I'm losing small trades. I'm up so much that even if I'm plus 2 pawns, I'm able to continue this and extrapolate it into a secured victory. And that's exactly what I do. But it's not the most deafening defeat. In game 2, I'm not trying to fuck around. Game 2, I'm trying to prove that I can win. And so it starts. Me playing the black this side. Everything going well. Making a gambit here. In this position with my knight to take her pawn on c2, threatening her rook. She puts it in safety, moves her knight out, and then blunders. Throws her rook into peril, right under threat of my knight, protected by nothing. Not that it matters because a rook is more valuable. I take the rook, and from there, well, I'll roll the clip of what happened. Every single red means a pre-move. AKA, I am making dozens of moves before she even makes one.
Oh no. Why is he pre-moving like this? Oh, okay, he's gonna do it.
And then I make a call out. Watch your fucking ass, Slicker! I'm coming for the goddamn throat! You better not spread your cheeks to Moist Critical's throbbing cock! Or else I'm coming. That was a reference to Slicker and Moist Critical, who are two people on the other side of the bracket who I had beef with, talking about how one of them's Johnny Sins. I don't know. They had a weird analogy going on. I was just hearkening back to it. Look, chess gets a little weird. It gets a little weird in chess world. Anyway, I win cleanly. And now, all of a sudden, I'm in the semifinals of the tournament. And I'm going to have to play the winner of XQC and Fuslie. And I haven't talked too much about XQC today, but I should have. Without him, this tournament probably wouldn't have been a thing. XQC is the one who started playing chess and originally getting coaching from Hikaru. Blew up the entire category. Chess is now one of the biggest games. Chess! And it's because of an admittedly shitty-ass player compared to the rest of the chess players in the world, getting a little bit of coaching from one of the best in the world. He was always considered, I think the correct term is the fart of Twitch. In fact, suffered a very, very deafening defeat, which I'll show you right here. All right, so we're going to be watching this chess match here, guys. It's between Moist Critical and XQC. Well, I guess that's the end of the chess match between Moist Critical and XQC. Another riveting bout between those two. That match, it lasted 6 moves. It has 2 million views on YouTube. It's one of the most viewed chess games of all time. But XQC, for all the shit that he gets, kept playing. And against Fuslie, who was the favorite to win that match, ended up winning. And it was going to be me versus XQC in the semifinals. We even talked before our match.
I don't want to make too much spice, okay? But listen, Ludwig is kind of that friend from high school who played like 2,000 games of League and he's still silver. That's kind of how it is. So I guess I'll see you next round, dude. But if I put a bit more time, dude, listen, you're not making it through.
Put the time in. I would put. You want to do a little side wager? I'll give the 100 subs if you beat me. You don't have to put anything up.
I'll match it. 100 subs.
You match it?
On the game.
Easy money.
Subs, sure.
Yeah.
Easy money, sure, man.
100 gifted subs, $500 are on the line now. And so, I prepare. I prepped by continuing to read my book, not the Dvorsky one, but the Bobby Fischer one. And XQC prepared by playing, by playing The Last of Us 2 for 17 hours straight. Oh. Well, still no one to underestimate, and I did a bit of preparation. So I was kind of prepared for the opening because you can actually look up other people's chess games. And I make a few mistakes here and there. He makes a few mistakes as well. But it's pretty even right up until here. In fact, There was a way for me to get a checkmate in 8 moves guaranteed, and I didn't see it. I'm ashamed to say I was going for cheese. What I was thinking this whole time was if I bring my queen to this spot and his queen isn't here, then it's a checkmate. And so I was thinking in this moment, I'm going to do something stupid and put my king here in hopes of baiting him to take this pawn. He ends up doing this. I ignored it. I was like, I'll do another throwaway move. I do this. And that's when he finally does it. He takes the pawn here. I have the free file. I can get the checkmate. It's so easy. So I move my queen, hover it over the position, smiling to myself, thinking, man, this is going to be so damn easy. GG, Felix. Turns out that I accidentally forgot that because he moved this pawn up, he has an escape square. And so he can just do that. And so it actually wasn't even close to a mate. But I put him in check here. He blocks me. Wrong move. Check again. And now all of a sudden, I'm making a comeback. In fact, the game's dead even. But here's where I make a brutal mistake. Winning is an option. But there's one more very important option. Drawing. If you make the same moves 3 times straight on both sides, it's a draw. It's very easy to achieve that in certain situations. But I said, fuck that. We're going to go for the win, baby. Grab the pawn. Grab the pawn. Going for the 3rd pawn. And then, apparently that's checkmate for Felix. He mated me. I didn't see it. I was actually at a +5. This means +5.5 pawns. And I went from that to getting mated in 1 in 3 turns. And I was actually kind of crushed because I was really confident. This guy played The Last of Us 2. That's all he did. And he walked away with a 90% accuracy. He played a very good game. And now it's game point. Not only if I lose this next game, do I lose the whole tournament. If I draw the next game, I lose the whole tournament. Game 2. I prepare my opening, knowing that I want to go for something he wouldn't expect. The Berlin defense. I know he likes the Rui Lopez, where you bring out the bishop to threaten the king and often end up creating stacked pawns on this file. But in the year 2000, one man upset the world's greatest player at the time, Garry Kasparov, with this exact move. Ignore the fucking bishop. Ignore the stacked pawns. Bring out this piece. We're going for the Berlin defense, baby. And that's exactly what we do. We continue on, making all the best moves, reacting in every situation to whatever he does with the right fucking move. And right here, I see something. Only 13-2 turns in, I see something big. I see my queen is threatening here. And if I bring my bishop, I'll have 2 people attacking together. They call that a battery in chess. He brings his knight here, what he saw as a fork. In fact, let me show you a clip.
Oh my God, this is so beautiful. I have a fork. Oh my God. And if he takes, I take.
He doesn't see it right off.
Okay, last match. Let's go.
Check
Last match, bring it up.
mate. My accuracy for this game, 99.1%. I didn't make a single wrong move. I played a perfect game. In game 3, it's a sudden death. 3 minutes are going to separate me from winning. If I run out of time, even if I'm up a whole queen, I lose. And so we start. Before this happened, I looked up a little bit of theory on what I should do if he does the same bishop opening. So I start the same, and I notice he does the same move. So I mix it up. I take him. Which you might be thinking to yourself, well, Ludwig, why doesn't he take you? Well, he did just that. The problem is, now I move my queen here. So in return, he threatens to take me. But I'm okay with that. He takes me. And I say, fuck it. I'm taking the pawn. Nothing's protecting it, and he's in check. I'm up a pawn already. Only 6 seconds in to the game. And then he blocks with his bishop. And I say, you know, they do say in chess you're supposed to control the center and bring out all these pieces so you can have a more safe opening for your king. But fuck that shit. Let's let the queen go to town. I take all the pawns. Check, and I'm one move away from checkmate. Do you see it? I have checkmate with one more move. His king can't escape. He can't take me because I'm protected. This bishop's useless. This horse and queen are useless. I win the game in 12 moves. Literally 12 moves! And I beat XQC in a sudden death to make it to the finals of the entire fucking tournament. Except that didn't actually happen because I accidentally played this move because I didn't see it because I only had 3 minutes and I made the move in a second. I thought this was checkmate, but apparently you can do this, which I didn't see. And so then I was like, oh, fuck. So then I just continued on for a bit, and I was still up ahead a lot. But if I run out of time, I still lose the game. So I have to move very quickly. I end up going +8. I bring out my knight. I fork him. He moves here. Grab the rook. Continue ravaging him. Taking every single piece that he has. Checks. Forks. Discovered checks. Non-stop threats. Leaving him with nothing but a king. And then I find my mate. Checkmate in 44 moves. It only had to be 12, but I brought it down 44 moves, and in 2 minutes of my playtime, I checkmated XQC and moved on to the finals. Me versus Critical in the finals of the Constellation bracket. The problem was I only had 2 hours to prepare. The finals was the same day as the semifinals. I took an hour to chill, and then I spent the last hour with my coach, Hans, a 16-year-old prodigy at chess, soon to be GM, while he prepped with Danya, a GM who found him his 6-move mate versus XQC. It was truly a match of titans. And so, in front of over 100,000 combined viewers, I prepared for the exact opening with a new gambit, the Caro Khan. Ensuring better defense, something I had never done but only studied briefly. I'm running through the moves, but you can see we are all making great moves. There are no severe blunders. It continues on for a bit until I finally have a breakthrough. I get my pawn on the 6th rank, 2 away from changing it into a queen, a scary spot for a pawn to be. He moves his knight. A mistake. I take advantage. He moves in here. He takes me to avoid the threat, and now I'm up 3 pawns. It continues on for a bit. He starts making some scary moves. Eventually, I'm able to trade off my rooks, simplifying the game, and here I'm in a tough spot. I only have a minute left on the clock. I've played 9 minutes of chess, so I put him in check, panicking after thinking about the move for 20 seconds. We end up entering some sort of stalemate. I repeat the move. We're on the verge of a draw, but I'm greedy. I don't want to draw. I'm going to bring my rook over and jam this bitch in, but I run out of time. I think to myself, hey, if I bring my queen down here, it'll put him in check again. He'll move over, and then I can bring my rook up, and then I can get checkmate. Except I missed one thing. Why are there 2 question marks here? I give away my queen. I go from almost guaranteed winning to losing in 1 turn. I try playing on, but I could not have been more frustrated. I mean, I was genuinely sad here. I know it might not seem like it, but I did put a lot of myself into this tournament. And to lose it off of something so dumb, after playing such a great game, it's really crushing. I tried playing on for a bit, but I made 1 blunder that cost me the whole game. The whole hour Hans spent coaching out through the window. I didn't have the mental fortitude to play another game. But then I got a message. Hans reached out. He told me I played a great game. Said, don't let it get to my head. All I have to do is just play more confidently. I'm making the right moves. I'm just doubting myself. Trust yourself. You can win. And I entered game 2 with Hans's words in my mind, knowing that I could fucking make this comeback. And so it starts. Game fucking 2. I decide to open up with a pretty simple opening, and I was prepared. I played smart. I made the good moves, kept advancing pieces, and at this moment, I saw it. I saw the path to victory. Do you see it? This bishop is currently defended by 1 piece, but attacked by 2. Not only that, but if I take with my bishop first, and then he takes with his pawn, and then I take with my knight, I fork his queen and his rook. He has to pick one to save. Obviously, he picks the queen. I take the rook, and now I'm up 3 points. We continue on playing. I try to make the best moves I can, pushing my pawn all the way up, allowing myself to get a pawn for a rook. That's how scary my pawn was on this rank. And now I'm up 7 points. Bouncing back from the lost game 1 in an unprecedented way. And just for fun, I end up going plus 10. I'm feeling good. And while all this is happening, unbeknownst to me, because I'm not allowed to open chat, in a distant land, chess.com, the people streaming this event to almost 100,000 viewers, goes down due to a fire in Arizona. I'm not kidding. And in this exact moment, where I am crushing, I get hosted by chess.com's Twitch stream. And I don't even know, but I have 72,000 viewers at peak. I'm the most watched chess streamer of all time. I'm playing the biggest live chess match any individual has ever streamed. Literally 72K peak! My previous is 16K! At this point, my opponent, Moist Critical, resigns. And so, I brought it to a sudden death, 1-1 overtime game versus Moist Critical in the finals. I'm not kidding. The most viewed Twitch streamer at peak ever in the history of Twitch. And I gotta say, when I found out, I was fucking nervous. Not only are 60,000 people watching, outside of that, I poured my heart into this game. Unironically, I'm not a fucking GM. I'm not an amazing player. I'm not even good. But I put in a lot of time to get better and a lot of time to get here. It's one thing to enter as a streamer and just play for funsies and get guaranteed money, but I actually tried. I got coaching. I went out. I bought books. I read them. Every single night, I was like peckish. I couldn't fucking eat the day of. I don't get nervous a lot. Not for streaming. Not with 15,000 you laugh, you losing. But when I'm genuinely putting my self-worth in front of people and saying, hey, I tried my best and either I fail or succeed, that's the most real thing you can do. And so we start game 3. And I'm feeling good. I think I might actually be able to get it done. I start off with a game plan that I know and I feel comfortable with rather than the one I worked on with Hans. The Rui Lopez, he ends up making some pretty good plays here. And in fact, has an advantage. At this point, he's up 1 pawn over me. And again, I'm a little nervous, but I know I'm faster and I know I can bring it back. So the game continues and I make a genius play. Rook to check. He blocks with his bishop. I take the bishop, meaning the only piece he can block with is now this pawn. Free pawn for me, and he's in check, so I get a free extra move. I'm in a really good spot here. You can probably see a couple good moves. This is a free pawn, but I decide after he ends up moving his king that I'm not going to take this. I'm not going to protect him. I'm going to try to go for protection here, which ended up not being the wisest decision, I realized, because I pinned my own queen. Meaning that if I move this guy now, they get a queen, which is bad for me. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I end up taking his rook. He takes with queen. I decide to keep my queen because I think I'm in a better position. I put him in check. He moves his bishop. I put him in check. I'm thinking, ooh, free pawn or free bishop. Again, trying to make good moves in literal seconds. He makes a brilliant move by blocking the bishop, or excuse me, the check with his queen, forcing me to trade. We're literally even. I move my knight out. He moves his pawn up. And that's where I'm like, huh, this doesn't seem too bad. So I take it. And then he takes with bishop. And then I realize his plan all along. I'm now forked. His bishop's attacking my king and my knight. I have to protect the king. And so I lose a knight. And I'm down big now. I try fighting back, taking a pawn where I can. But the damage is done. He's in a way better position. And he forces my king to go up here. And with one final move of his rook, puts my king into check. Can't escape into these squares because this pawn. Can't escape into these squares because this bishop. And I lose. The first time I've ever lost a critical in a 3-0. It's in front of 60,000 people. In the finals of one of the biggest chess tournaments of all time. And I'm crushed. Because it's not like I just made a dumb play. I just got outplayed. I think if we ran the game 10 times, I have a good chance of winning 4, 5, maybe even 6. But this game, when it mattered, he played way better than me. And I lost. But I'm graceful in defeat. I hosted Critical. I still like Critical. I think Critical's a fucking fantastic content creator. We've won a lot on this channel, and it feels fucking good. Pokemon, our Mario tournament, this L's done one thing and one thing only. Lit a fire under my ass. I don't care what the competition is. I'm putting in my all. Because even though it felt terrible to lose, even though I immediately ended and sat on a fucking swing like a depressed Naruto character for 3 hours by myself, all it made me want to do was run it back. And we'll have the fucking chance. It might not be chess. It might not be Critical, but it will happen. We're gonna run it back. We're gonna see this stage again. And when we see it, we're putting our heart in, and we're gonna try our best to take that shit down. We ended up second place, winning $3,000 and 100 gifted subs from XQC, and making a few friends along the way. And finally, feels like I might be on the inner circle of Twitch for the first time ever. I feel like I'm a streamer that people know about. So it's not all sad. Shoutouts where shoutouts are due. Shoutouts to Critical winning the tournament. Probably no other streamer I would have wanted to win. And that is how I accidentally, briefly, became the biggest chess streamer of all time.
Yo